Magandang hapon, Pilipinas! Talino at diskarte ang bida tuwing tayo nagkikita tuwing linggo dito sa paboritong game show ng mundo. Ito ang Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I am John Vincent Pakiran.
And I'm Ariel Joyce J. Bernardo, and we are your game masters for this afternoon. Unfortunately, we're still doing this virtually dahil pandemic pa. Still, let's make this game an exciting one.
Ready ka na ba, partner? Kasi ako, ready na. Huwag na nating patagalin ito at ipakilala na natin ang ating contestant.
Ako po si Rana de Guzman, proud graduate of Pangasinan State University, Lingayen Campus. Ako po ay nakapagtapos sa kursong Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major in Financial Management. Bilang isang scholar ng bayan, isa sa aking mga responsibilidad na maibalik ang serbisyong na gawa para ako ay makapagtapos sa aking pag-aaral. Dati po akong empleyado ng MGT Company at dahil sa pandemya ay isa ako sa mga nawalan ng trabaho. Sumali po ako sa Who Wants to Be a Millionaire para sa aking pamilya, para sa bayan at para na rin sa aking sarili.
Once again, let us all welcome Ms. Rana de Guzman. How are you doing, Rana?
I feel great, Ariel.
That's good to hear. Handa ka na bang harapin ang mga tanong namin sa iyo ngayong hapon?
Handang-handa na po.
If that's so, let's proceed to the mechanics of the game.
So ito ang mechanics ng ating game. Meron kang 20 multiple choice questions. If you can answer these 20 questions right, you can have 2 million pesos. Ang 20 questions ay nadi-divide sa 5 category, namely, overview of human behavior in organization para sa first category, individual differences, mental ability and personality para sa second category, learning perception and attribution for third category, values, attitudes, and job satisfaction para sa fourth category, at motivation naman for the fifth and last category. Each category have 4 questions. Kapag nasagot mo ng tama ang 4 questions na ito, maaari ka nang mag-proceed sa next category. Bago mag-proceed sa next category, ikaw ay tatanungin namin kung gusto mo pang magpatuloy o iuuwi mo na lang ang premyong meron sa iyo. Parehas din ang mechanics sa bawat category hanggang sa maabot mo ang last question na makapagbibigay sa iyo ng 2 million pesos. You have 3 call a friend lifelines. Nasa iyo yan kung paniniwalaan mo sila o hindi.
Naiintindihan mo ba ang mechanics, Rana?
Yes, Ariel.
Ready ka na bang sagutin ang first question?
Ready na po.
If that's so, let's play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
For the first category, overview of human behavior in organizations. The first question for 1,000 pesos. This happens when having a personal issue with your boss. Another instance is when an employee has a better life than others, so the head of the group might give that employee special treatment. A. Injustices and dishonesty. B. Unethical leadership. C. Harassment and discrimination. Or D. Privacy concern.
I think this question is part of the ethical issues in an organization, and as far as I can remember, these issues are injustices and dishonesty, unethical leadership, harassment and discrimination in workplace, unrealistic and conflicting goals, falsifying documents and misleading information, technology and privacy concerns, and lastly, conflict of interest. And based on the question, we can see that ethical issues happening in an organization are not properly addressed, and sometimes they are not really stated because the employees or employers are parang doubtful, or sometimes they are fearful that it might affect the organization itself if like may issues na lalabas na mga ganito. And based on the question, I think and I believe that the correct answer for this is letter B, unethical leadership.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, that's my final answer. B. Unethical leadership.
Unethical leadership is correct.
So the next question is worth 3,000 pesos. So here it is. He and his colleagues together conducted a study which determines period of rest and effects of hours of work on productivity and fatigue of workers. Here are the choices. Letter A, Frederick Winslow Taylor. Letter B, Carl Rogers. Letter C, Elton Mayo. And letter D, J.B. Watson.
This question is under the history of organizational behavior, and under human relations approach, there are two theories, which are the scientific management approach by Frederick Winslow Taylor, which emphasizes efficiency and uses scientific methods to increase productivity of the workers, and another is the human relations approach by Elton Mayo and others, which determines periods of rest and efforts of hours on work on the productivity and fatigue of the workers. On the other hand, there are two personality theories, namely Sigmund Freud's model, which brought the idea that people are motivated by more than conscious logical reasoning, and the behaviorist approach by Watson and Skinner, which is a formulated theory on learned behavior. And lastly, the humanist approach by Carl Rogers, Fritz Perls, and Abraham Maslow, which focus on the person as an individual instead of adhering to a rigid methodology and Gestalt psychology. And for this question, I think that the correct answer is letter C, Elton Mayo.
Is that your final answer, Rana?
Yes, that's my final answer.
Okay, your final answer is correct. Letter C, Elton Mayo.
For 5,000 pesos, this is the question number 3. This is the study of why people make ethical and unethical decisions. A. Ethics. B. Organizational ethics. C. Behavioral ethics. Or D. Human behavior.
I think the correct answer is C, behavioral ethics.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, my final answer is C, behavioral ethics.
Your answer is correct. Behavioral ethics is the study of why people make ethical and unethical decisions. Ethics, on the other hand, refers to the moral choices a person makes based on what he or she ought to do, while organizational ethics are moral principles that define right and wrong behavior in an organization. Lastly, human behavior refers to the activities that human beings possess, which are influenced by factors such as thoughts, feelings, emotions, culture, attitudes, values, ethics, and authority.
Okay, this is the fourth and last question for this category. This is worth 10,000 pesos. Here is the question. It is the pattern series of interrelationships existing between individuals, groups, and institutions. The choices are letter A, environment, letter B, people, letter C, social system, and letter D, technology.
My answer for this question is letter C, social system.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, my final answer is C, social system.
Yes, social system is correct. Social system is one of the elements of organizational behavior. In the elements of OB, we have 5 elements. Kasama na nga dyan yung social system. And susunod is the people. Okay, so sinasabi nila is the people without the people, the organization won't be able to function. So, napaka-importante ng people. Next one is structure. In a structure, there is created different types of position for doing work nicely in the organization. Next is technology. Technology, very important yan ngayon. Especially now na pandemic. Technology, even before mga 2000 something, nagagamit na yan sa isang organization. Why? Because it makes the work of the people in the organization or in the company to be more effective and efficient. Next is the environment. So sa environment, we have the micro and macro environment. This is the setting kung saan nagtatrabaho ang mga tao.
Congratulations, Rena! You already have 10,000 pesos. Nasa kamay mo kung magpo-proceed tayo sa next category or iuwi mo na lang ang 10,000 pesos.
Rena, proceed or leave?
I'll proceed to the next category.
Kung ganon, let's move on to the second category with the topic individual differences, mental ability, and personality. For the fifth question worth 20,000 pesos, nandito si Kenneth. Kenneth, what is the fifth question?
Rena, which is not state under the various theory of intelligence? A. Personality theory. B. Dimension of intellectual ability. C. Multiply intelligence theory. And D. Hierarchic theory.
I think the correct answer is letter A, personality theory.
Is that your final answer, Rena?
Letter A, personality theory is my final answer.
Okay, so ang final answer or the correct answer ay malalaman natin kay Kenneth. Kenneth, what is the correct answer?
The correct answer is A. Personality theory.
Intellectual ability is our mental ability, which is allowed is to make some mental activities like thinking, reasoning, and solving problems. Intellectual ability has three various theories of intelligence. First is the dimension of intellectual ability. Under this theory is the cognitive, emotional, social, and cultural ability. The next is the hierarchic theory, which consists of exponential, analytical, exponential, relativity, and contextual. Practical theory, and lastly, the multiple theory of intelligence, which is composed of linguistic, logical, mathematical, musical, spatial, and bodily kinetics, interpersonal, naturalistic.
Congratulations, Rena! Let us now proceed to the next question to be presented by Frances. Frances, ano ba ang sixth question?
This is sixth question worth 35,000 pesos, Miss Rena. And this is the question. The following are the factors that make people different from each other except demography, B. Structure, C. Aptitude and ability, and D. Physical abilities.
My answer is letter B, structure.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, that is my final answer, B, structure.
Frances, what is the correct answer?
The correct answer is letter B, structure. The demographic, aptitude, consider of what makes people different from each other. First, the demographic. Demographic refers to the characteristic of the people or the population. The worker behavior is sometimes affected by their demographic characteristics such as gender, generational, and age-based difference and culture. When we say aptitude, it refers to the innate capability of a person to learn a certain skills, while ability is the capacity of an individual to carry out or perform a certain task. Individuals' physical abilities consist of dynamic strength, shock strength, static strength, explosive strength, extent flexibility, dynamic flexibility, body coordination, balance, stamina, and lastly, the personality, which have two determinants: the hereditary and environment factors. Personality is a set of characteristics possessed by the person that makes him or her unique, such as the way of thinking, behaving, and feeling.
Thank you, Frances. The next question is worth 50,000 pesos, which will be presented by Janella. Janella, what is the next question?
Hello, Rena. What is the set of characteristics possessed by a person that makes him or her unique, such as the way of thinking, behaving, and feeling? A. Demographics. B. Physical abilities. C. Aptitude and ability. Or D. Personality.
My answer is letter D, personality.
Is that your final answer, Rena?
Yes, that is my final answer.
Okay, Janella, what is the correct answer?
The correct answer is D. Personality. Personality is the characteristic patterns of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that make someone unique. Hereditary and environmental factors are the two determinants of personality. Hereditary is genetic. This includes physical stature, facial attractiveness, gender, temperament, muscle composition and reflexes, energy level, and biological rhythms. While under environmental factors, we have cultural factors. This is established norms, values, and attitudes that are inherited. Second is social factors. This involves family life, religion, and other groups in which individual belongs. Third is situational factors. In this factor, a person behaves differently in varying situations. There are 8 kinds of personality factors and traits. First is emotional stability. This considers an individual as calm, self-confident, and secure. Second is extraversion, those people who are sociable. Third is openness to experience, those people who are imaginative, curious, broad-minded, and artistically sensitive. Fourth is agreeableness, that refers to the person's interpersonal orientation. Fifth is conscientiousness, refers to individuals' reliability or being responsible. Sixth is self-monitoring behavior, those person who is flexible as they can adjust to different situations. 7 is risk-taking and thrill-seeking. It is the eagerness of an individual to take risk and thrill in workplace. 8 is optimism. This involves confidence in reaching a successful outcome.
Thank you, Janella. For the 8th question, narito si Leslie. Leslie, what is the 8th question?
Thank you, John. The next question for 70,000 pesos is: what is the ability of a person to perceive, evaluate, express, and regulate emotions and feelings? A. DHA. B. Physical ability. C. Emotional intelligence. Or letter D. Personality.
Okay, my answer is letter C, emotional intelligence.
Is that your final answer, Rena?
Yes, my final answer is C, emotional intelligence.
Leslie, what is the correct answer?
The correct answer is C, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence was introduced by Danielle Goleman. It is the ability of an individual to accurately express and regulate emotions and feelings. There are 5 components of emotional quotient or emotional intelligence. The first one is self-regulation. It is the self-control. Second one, motivation. Passion to work and go beyond rewards. Third one, empathy. Capacity to understand and feel others' experiences. The fourth one, self-awareness. Understanding one's personality. And lastly, social skills. Capability to manage relationships inside and outside organization.
Okay, you're so great, Rena. Nalagpas mo na ang 2 categories at meron ka nang naipong 70,000 pesos. Pero itong tanong, are you willing to proceed to the next question or keep the 70,000 pesos?
Rena, proceed or leave?
I'm willing to proceed to the next category.
Yeah, that's good to hear. But before we proceed to the next category, let's first watch a short commercial from Moti Money.
Bakit ganon? Ginawa ko naman ang lahat. Kulang pa rin!
Ito 1.5 para ma-motivate ka.
Moti Money is where your dreams come true.